Holy Name Society is actually the the oldest confraternity, and I can say the oldest confraternity because its origins go back to the 13th century. It became an official confraternity in the 1500s, so the 16th century. Um, but
So
it
it's
was
the first one.
I'm I don't know if it's the first official one.
Hmm.
It's the one with the deepest roots. So, and you know, it comes about at the same time as the actual rosary itself, and then the confraternity of the rosaries.
Really?
Yeah,
So Rosary and the Holy Name Society
they're
same are
like
birthed at the same time.
they're like 30 years apart, pretty much.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but so then the confraternities of the rosary started under Alan de la Roche, I believe, in the 16th century, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess just kind of go into the history if you can, like if you can sum it up in like if you have 2 minutes to sum up the
All right,
history
ready?
of the Holy Name Society.
Okay.
Go.
Much like the Rosary, Albigensian heresy is going on in the 13th century, right? And that's a lot like Gnosticism, but they believe in two gods. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, why is that important? Because they believe that the earth and the God that made the earth is like evil and corrupted. Okay, so this is going on in France, which if you know about France in early Christendom, it's called the first daughter of the church because it's where the Catholic Church had like the largest presence for a long time. Anyway, so the popes are dealing with this Albigensian heresy. This is when Dominic like receives the vision of Mary and says, "Hey, like you need to preach the Psalter, like we talked about in the Rosary episode." Um, but what's going on is that the Albigensians kind of have this thing that's like, well, Jesus is a man, and he's claiming he's God, therefore he's the evil God we're talking about. So they like went out of their way to blaspheme the name of Jesus. They would have these like songs that like children and people would sing. That
Whoa.
would be like "Kill the Carpenter," "Down with the Nazarene."
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So the Pope was like, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So he writes a letter. He writes a letter to John of Vercelli, which is the fifth successor of Saint Dominic.
Hey, Vaselli.
Vercelli.
That's sorry.
But he's the fifth successor of Saint Dominic, and this is Gregory the 10th Pope, right? He sends this letter and he says, "You don't have to take this as a command, but pretty much take this as a command to spread devotion to the holy name of Jesus." And so John of Vercelli was like, "All right, cool. Like, I'm going to do exactly that." So he's a Dominican, obviously. He's the Grand Master.
He's a Dominican.
He's the Grand Master of the Dominican Order. And so he like sets immediately to this task where he's building shrines to the holy name of Jesus in all the Dominican monasteries. He like gives a mandate to Dominican priests to like preach about the power of the holy name of Jesus. All this stuff, okay? So the devotion builds from there. At this point, it's like a devotion, okay? And this devotion is under the care of the Dominican order, but it's not like organized into a confraternity yet. That comes with Saint Didacus of Victoria, not the Franciscan. For people who know about their history, this is a different Didacus. Okay,
I was just thinking that. I was like, people are gonna think that.
People are gonna think it,
and I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, no, but if you do try to research Didacus of Victoria, the Dominican, the only thing that will pop up is the Franciscan. It has like nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But so Didacus is the one. He's the guy. Okay, he's kind of like Alan de la Roche with the Rosary, right? So he officially starts the laity's participation in the confraternity, and so he's alive during the Spanish Civil War in Spain. So Spain is filled with like soldiers and sailors and people who've like literally lost everything uh, to the Civil War. So they're like everybody's cursing, everybody's just like very pessimistic in the society.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of like drunks and people with PTSD like rolling around Spain, just like being very flippant and blasphemous and stuff.
Right.
And so he has the right response of being like, y'all need to chill out. So Didacus, like I said, he brings the laity into it, and he also starts like the traditional like personality of a holy name man, which is if you hear somebody like being obscene, you like drop to your knees and you like make reparation right there in front of them. Like you
For them. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So you
Okay.
pray for them, you correct them. He would actually say he would drop to his knees and he'd have a bell. This is the popular like legend.
Hmm.
But it's pretty well supported because the guy who wrote this only lived like 50 years after his life. So he would drop to his knees with a bell and like ring the bell so everybody would like
Oh my
turn.
god, I bet that must have been
Oh, dude.
so
And he would
annoying.
go, by the wounds of Jesus, hush your tongue. By the wounds of Jesus, hush your tongue.
Yeah,
And,
I'm sure that nobody forgot about that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, oh
everyone
my
was
gosh.
like, "Oh my god, what's his name? Didicus."
Didicus.
Everyone was like, "Oh my god, here comes Didicus with that
Better
bell."
watch your mouth.
Yeah,
Better watch your mouth or he'll call you out.
I mean that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened. It becomes extremely popular. Okay. And then the next like big event, which this is kind of required knowledge to kind of fully understand. Lisbon, 1400s. Okay. What's happening? Black Plague getting up in there.
Yeah.
Okay. It is like decimating the city. Okay.
Yep.
It estimated that it like cut the population of Lisbon in half. 75,000 people died. There's and it happened so fast, right? So bodies are piling up in the street. Animals are eating the bodies. They're
Right.
spreading it more. Everybody's about to die. The king of Portugal, it's Lisbon, Portugal.
Yep.
The king of he just flees. He just leaves. All the nobles leave. Everybody who can leave left. So who's left in charge of the city is its bishop. And he's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And he had a devotion to the holy name. So he's like, okay, well, the holy name is our shield. Like, there's power in the name of Jesus. So he gets together, he gets, thousands of people together, the thousands that are left, okay? And he blesses water, okay? He raises IHS banners, which were like recently popularized by Bernadette of Siena in association with the Holy Name Society. And he marches with a giant crowd of people through the plague-ridden city, okay? Which is it's dangerous, okay?
Mm.
And he's going to the worst parts of the city, and he's processing, he's sprinkling holy water on all the buildings and all the people, and people start getting up from the street and joining the procession. Like people who are sick and dying start standing up, joining the procession. This lasts for 3 days. It takes them 3 days to work through the city. Okay, at the end of the 3 days, the procession arrives at the Basilica of Lisbon, the Cathedral of Lisbon.
Yep.
And after that, the plague's gone. Like no new cases were reported.
Wow.
Nobody else died. Yeah.
Because the name of Jesus is that powerful.
Yeah, it
right.
literally saved Lisbon. Like Lisbon could have lost all of its people.